welcome everybody to our Wednesday live class at 12 o'clock. So today I want to show you how to do maybe a corsage that could be used for a wedding. You could even call it a buttonhole, but it is, like everything I do, it probably has a little bit of a twist to it, okay? So first of all, before we get going, I need to know who's watching, where you're watching in from, and obviously what's the weather going to be like, or what's the weather like where you are and what part of the world you're watching in from. Obviously when we come on to do these live classes, we're looking for interaction, but we're also looking for shares. So the more you share, the more I'm going to come on and do live classes with you again. Obviously, if there's something that people would like me to demonstrate, just place it in the comments and I'll do my best. I won't promise, but I know in the past couple of weeks we've had a lot of requests for buttonholes, and I said, right, let's do something simple. Now, when I'm doing buttonholes and corsages with my students, I'm always telling them you need a model, okay? You need a model to model your buttonhole and your corsage. But do you think my husband would come in to work with me today? Absolutely not. So what I had to do was grab a suit, his shirt and his tie out of the wardrobe, okay, to model my buttonhole that I'm going to make today. Now, what I'm going to model, or what I'm going to make today for you, is a buttonhole corsage, okay?
A pocket corsage.
A pocket corsage, right? So this is my husband's suit, and that's his jacket, obviously, and that's the little pocket where normally he sticks his handkerchief in there, right? So what I did was I cut out a template, just out of a piece of cardboard, okay? So no particular cardboard. This could be back from the back of your cereal box. And the idea is that this piece of cardboard slips down into the pocket, and can you see the way it sticks up over the top, right? And I have a couple of them made, because what I'm going to do is over the next couple of weeks I'm going to do a few of them for you, you know, the way to give you a couple of ideas. Now people are going to say, Jeanette, what size and what measurement is that? You have to get your own model, girls and boys, okay? So if you were doing this as an order for a wedding, you'd actually have to get the suit jacket, you know, that way, and the pocket, and try it out, because it was just trial and error, trying and saying, right, I need to take another little bit off, I need to take another little bit off.
And all the suits have different size pockets.
Absolutely, because when you look at that suit, I'm not sure if you can see it, but like that's the width of it there, right? But I put my fingers in it and I can spread them out, and you can see then it's a lot narrower. Like, look how narrow the inside of the pocket is, right? So if you don't try it out, and when you do try it out, like, presuming they're all wearing the same suits, you know that we, but obviously double check, have all your little templates made, and if they're for different people, write on the back of the cardboard, Daddy 1, Daddy 2, Johnny, Mary, or the groom, or whoever it is that's going to wear it. And I'm going to hang up this jacket because there'll be murder if anything happens to it.
I hope he's not watching this live, Janette.
This is it, you know that way. I hope he's not going out tonight and he'll be looking for a suit. Right, I'm going to start off with the first one, keeping kind of all natural, keeping to mostly greens. Now again, if you're watching, click share. If we don't see the shares popping up there, you never know. The camera could go dead, the Wi-Fi could go down, and we might just cheerio goodbye. And we're not going to do that on you. But seriously, we really do need you to share it, because we depend on you, the public, to build up our analytics with Facebook, with Instagram, and with YouTube. And again, for anybody that has been watching there and hasn't yet availed of the free offer of the conditioning program. So this is where we have an online program on the treatment and conditioning of over 60 different varieties of fresh flowers and foliage, with all their botanical names, their common names, the meaning of the flowers, how long they're going to last, how you could treat them, items where you could use them in, are they suitable for wedding work, bridal work, obviously weddings, bridals, funeral, flower arranging, or hand-tied bouquets, or what flowers complement each other. So there's a ton of information in this program, and at the moment you can download it for free and you have 6 months access to it. So if you haven't yet availed of that special offer, just in the comments there say that you'd love a copy of the link, and then when Sinead gets a chance she'll respond back to everybody. So what you need is a glue gun. Now you can buy a glue gun in Lidl, because the glue gun I have is actually from Lidl, and these are the glue sticks, okay, that work in the back of the gun. Now the glue sticks that I'm using are actual floral glue sticks, okay, so you will find that they work if there's any dampness in the material. So obviously with fresh flowers there is going to be a certain amount of dampness. Now I'm using a little bit of euonymus foliage. So this is foliage that we just took out of our own garden. It's actually our Deirdre's garden. And I'm just going to cut it up into a couple of little sprigs. Now when that person a few weeks ago was asking me about buttonholes and corsages, the reason why I normally don't do small and intricate work on these live classes is it's very hard for you, my eyesight as well, it's very hard for you to see the details, you know, that way. Well, when we're doing our professional online programs, we normally have a couple of cameras going at the same time and we're zooming in and zooming out, but it's impossible to do that here today because we have a couple of cameras going, but one is tuned into Instagram, one is into Facebook, one is into TikTok, one is into YouTube. So while I was yapping away there, I have it all put up. Now I'm going to get my glue stick or my glue gun, and I'm going to place, I just see this little spider running along here, must have been in the euonymus. So I'm just going to put in the top part of the cardboard, okay, and definitely don't do this when it's inside the suit jacket, okay. So I just kind of have glue just going along the top part there of the card, and just like kind of like give it a little bit of a swish just to cool it down slightly, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the euonymus just kind of randomly onto it just to kind of create a little bit of a background. Now if you haven't got euonymus, because obviously loads of you are going to say, oh, I haven't got that, ivy leaves, she didn't do exactly the same job. A couple of ivy leaves, and to be honest, they will be beautiful, they will as well. And again, for anybody starting off, you might find it easier to work with because they'll be flat, you know, that way. But I kind of want this one to be really fluffy because, as I said, it's going to be more kind of like natural rather than lots and lots of flowers. So I will use some flowers in it, okay? Not sunflowers, some flowers. So again, just need to let that settle and just kind of pressing down, okay? And the thing is, I am going to be putting more glue on in a second on top of that. So I'm not worried if something is a little bit loose at the moment. I can't hold it up. Not yet, because some of it hasn't settled and I haven't got enough glue on some of the items, but as I said, I'm putting more glue on, so that's why I wasn't panicked at the beginning. But if I hold it up now, they'll start falling off, okay? So just for the moment, hopefully I'll just kind of hold it that way. You probably can't see it. But again, that's why I just say about doing bridal work or intricate work on a live class, it's a little bit awkward. So you leave that for a couple of minutes, let it settle. I'd say it's well settled at this stage. And then just before I put the glue on, I have some of, again, these sire grasses. These are just, I bought in like a selection of glasses. They look like grasses. They look like two eyebrows. Don't they? Definitely need to go and get my eyebrows waxed, don't you? But, or a moustache. You
there you go,
moustache, you know, that way. So hairy mollies, they nearly look like caterpillars or hairy mollies. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go for the one. I was going to put the two, but now I've tried it. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just along there on top of the euonymus. And that's why at the beginning I wasn't worried about some of it being a little bit loose still. The flower glue doesn't harm the flowers at all. Just need that to kind of settle down a little bit. Don't glue straight onto the boiling glue. And now I'm just going to press it down. And so I don't burn my fingers, I'm going to press it down with the top of the scissors. There's a little leaf there. There we go. The glue sticks to everything. And I should actually be kind of like holding that there now in place. Now the next thing I'm going to use, right, is a couple of little bits of Bells of Ireland. Now if you haven't used Bells of Ireland before, look up the treatment and conditioning video that I've just given you the free link for. So again, anybody needs the free link, post it in the comments there that you'd love a copy of the link. Because Bells of Ireland have little thorns on them underneath the calyx, and again I went into detail about the little thorns and the treatment of conditioning of them in that tutorial. So what I'm now going to do is just put a little bit of glue on the end of each little flower, little floret, and again I'm just going to glue it down there. So again, these are beautiful and they're absolutely gorgeous in bridal work. And they're not a bad lasting flowers, you know, that way. Now the great thing about the glue, because some of you are probably asking, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. If I don't respond to you now, because sometimes there's lots of questions coming in between the different programs, we will respond to you tonight, okay? So don't feel that we're ignoring you. But what was I going to say to them? Can't remember now what I was going to say to them.
About them lasting.
Oh yeah. People often worry, like, how does the flower last, you know, that way when it's out of water. The thing about the glue, it's what it's actually doing is it's sealing the end of the flower. And it's sealing in the moisture within the stem. And again, we place these in a hydration unit or a hydration chamber. Now again, I'm just going to give that a second. It's starting to come together there now. So what I have is our little euonymus foliage, okay, glued on. I then had my hairy molly, my moustache or my eyebrows, whatever you want to call it, it was a sargrass, glued down as well. And then on top of that then, I've just put a couple of little florets of the Bells of Ireland, kind of in and out through, just giving us a little bit of texture. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use, let me see, will I use a little bit of the Astilbe or will I use a little bit of the Veronica? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I think the Astilbe.
Okay, the boss has spoken. So we're just going to cut up, to see the way the tiny little sprigs on the, that's why the Astilbe is great, but the Veronica does great for this as well. So I'm just going to cut up little short sprigs of the Astilbe. You could use status, you could use gyp, you could use wax flower, any of the limoniums, any of them, bit of hyperic and berry, like anything goes. Like, to be honest, I have a little bit of the achillea here as well. You could cut up a little sprig, a few sprigs of that. Again, it's beautiful as it is, you know, that way, but obviously normally with a buttonhole you're looking for a couple of little flowers. So now what I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue onto these and then just kind of stick them in there among the little florets of the Bells of Ireland. The Bells of Ireland signify good luck, so this groom or father of the bride or whoever it happens to be probably needs plenty of luck on the day. So the Bells of Ireland are a good one to use. They're very traditional in Ireland, you know, that way, so again a lot of Irish brides would probably like them, or maybe brides abroad that want something kind of traditional. So you can see the way I'm just using tiny little dabs of glue and I'm just kind of gluing them in there in among the florets of the Bells of Ireland. But if you hadn't used the Bells of Ireland, like whatever other material, as I said, over the next couple of weeks I'll use other material to give you a few other ideas. Now just I'm adding in a little bit of the achillea, and again with the Bells of Ireland you can actually stick the little stalk of the flower kind of down into the actual floret. Now when you're using the glue gun, please be really careful with them, okay? You can burn the fingers off yourself. That was not going in as handy as I wanted to go. Now again, I'll just hold it up for a second just to give you an idea what it's looking like. And I'm just going to add in a few more little bits of Astilbe. How are they going with the Sheridan, Deirdre?
They're not sharing that much now. We could do with a few more shares. Somebody was asking, could you use dried to do something like this?
The dried would be beautiful going through this. Yeah, absolutely. Dried would work out perfect. And again, you could have it done in advance, you know, that way, especially if it was a wedding that you're going to yourself and you are, you know, like a guest, takes a little bit of pressure off you. So, or you could mix dried in and out through it, you know, that way. So again, if you hadn't got the selections or the little textures, you could mix little bits of dried in and out through it.
And I did, you know, I did notice as well, not so much here, but definitely I can see it over in the States, that the lads now for graduations are wearing the buttonholes to match the wrist corsage of the girls.
That quite a lot.
And I can see it coming more trendy here too.
You know, the flowers will all be on the bandwagon and to make an extra few
Absolutely.
bob. And the thing is, you'll only sell it when you have the models, you know, that way. So what we need is a model to put the suit on, you know, that way. I'll try and get my husband tonight. Put the suit on, have the buttonhole in the suit pockets, you know, that way, and then that's how you're able to sell it. Or what I often say to the students, you know what I mean, is do what I do, is just have the suit on a hanger, you know, that way, and then, you know, display the buttonhole on it and get a photograph that way. And it's better than it just being up in my hand, because when I show somebody that piece of cardboard, you know, that way, it means absolutely nothing. And then when you see it like that so far, you know, that way, how nice it can look. So again, I'm just going to let that settle for a couple more seconds. Just want to make sure that the table is not wet and I damage my husband's suit. He'll go
there's no glue wet.
And there's no glue on it. Just need another little bit of the achillea in that side. So just want to kind of hold it up and look at the
Louisa just wants to know that do we do this as part of module 3 on the wedding course?
Well, do you know what we cover on module 3 is a little bit more intricate and harder than this, you know, that sort of way. So this is something, well, I'm not saying it's not part of module 3, but it's not part of module 3 because any gobshite would make one of these.
Yeah.
So, and we don't have any gobshites on our professional courses, so they don't need to learn how to do this, and you're not learning it now. So you will find with all the professional courses, they are a lot more intricate and detailed, you know, that way, and advanced, you know what I mean, because that's basically what they are. You're paying for it. This is free. All I'm looking for you off today is a feckin' share, you know, that way, and you are not even doing that. So please click share, gives lots of interaction, especially anybody that's maybe in a wedding group or a flower group or a garden club or a floral club, you know the way. Share this video in your club, or again share it even on your own social media pages. So I think I'd be happy enough on that.
No, I think it looks
so if
lovely.
I just go off camera for a second, and I place this in the pocket, and then I'll just grab my husband or grab my husband's jacket, and I'll be back to you. Doesn't look too bad. Now if my husband was inside it, it'd probably look a little bit better. So there's our suit jacket with our little corsage. Don't know where I put the piece of cardboard. So our cornflake box, it wasn't a cornflake box, you know.
I actually think it needs to be a little bit stronger than a cornflake box. I don't think a cornflake box can hold it.
This is quite heavy cardboard.
Yeah.
But you can always glue two pieces of
absolutely,
box cardboard together, you know the way, to make it a little bit stronger. And it's obviously better if it's plain, but you're not going to see it afterwards, you know that way. But that part probably at the back doesn't look as good. But again, for our demonstration and for our class. So again, when I lift it out, that you can actually see it. So that's it there. And that's it there, going down into the cardboard or down into the pocket, and there is our pocket corsage. So did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Did you learn anything? What do you think? And it's not much nicer than a buttonhole. Any gobshite can have a buttonhole, but only a good looking fella like my husband can have a pocket corsage. Would your husband get a pocket corsage?
Oh, I'd say he would, yes.
He's a good looking fella as well. He'd look well in a suit here, though.
He would.
6, 7 foot fella he is. So listen, huge thanks for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Remember to follow us over on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, because then you'll get a notification to say that we've uploaded a new course. And join us again next Wednesday at 12 o'clock. Remember, every Wednesday at 12 o'clock we do have a free class. My hand is killing me holding him up by the neck there, do you know that way? So listen, goodbye, good luck, huge thanks for joining us, and see you all next week. Bye bye.